Hello, all you lovely souls, and welcome back to, hello, all you lovely people, and welcome to a show of Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing. Today I'm going to be talking to you about making a character for a game. So in today's show, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to make a character and what you should involve with them, so to speak. So let's say we're playing Dungeons and Dragons 5e, just to add to the specifics, of course. And let's say I'm going to be playing as a human because simplicity. And let's say I want to play as I don't know, let's go with Warlock. That should be alright. So, with this in mind, we have our first stat we need to worry about is Charisma, which is going to be very important. And then you want to basically worry about Dex or Con. And for this, I'm going to be choosing Dex. So, and then you want to worry about and then you have these stats. So we're going to start with a standard. I'm going to be doing the 0.5 is what I normally use, but for the purposes of this video, I'll be doing the standard stat array, which is 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry there, I think I forgot what I was doing there for a second. Whoops. And we have to put each of these to the strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. So we're first going to start with the 8 in strength, which is what I normally recommend. And we're going to have I'm going to put a 13 in my dex. And I'm going to have a 10 con. And let's say I'm going to have a 14 intelligence, a 12 whiz, and a 15 charisma. And that's the stats for the character. And then you add 1 to each stat, so now it's going to be 9, 14, 11, 15, 13, and 16. And that is the final stats for this human. A little weak. Not very weak, but a little bit weak. And now, after we finish this, we're going to need to do the background. So, for a background, we need to start figuring out what is it our character did before they went somewhere else and they made a pact with something. What led them to making a pact? All these questions should be answered by the time you're getting to this. So I'm looking forward to playing a folk hero. Now this normally doesn't go together, but so you need to come up with a reason on how this could work. So I've done a great deed. Missed it? A great deed of some kind. Right? And it's at this point that I normally want to start thinking of, it's around this point where I want to start thinking of who my character, how do I want to roleplay this character? Because I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be a bad guy. I want to be a good guy. I want to be strong. I don't want to, not necessarily physically, but mentally and powerfully. And I want to be someone that helps people. But I'm a warlock, so how did this happen? How did I wind up in this dreaded scenario where I'm on a dark pact with some other entity, and then I come with Gunslinger of the West. So I've now come up with a name for my character. I'm going to name him Owen West. And he's going to be a folk hero. And how is he a folk hero? Well, he saved a town named Little Rock, and his family was taken. So we made a pact in his dire straits to further, well, not that's in his further straits to defeat and take back his family. Now, this isn't a very good one, and I'll tell you why. And why? You see, you don't want something that if you find it, then your character would leave, because it's the objective that you're always going towards. So what you want to do is you also want to think, what else would my character be doing that might delay this objective? And what I've thought of is he does the good his wife would have him do. He does the good that his wife would have him do. Bless their soul. And now that we have a reason for our character to have made a pact and to have left home and to do deeds around the world, now we need to start working out what was it that he made a deal with? What was the terms? I'd say if it's a very quick interaction, it was probably a demon. So I'm gonna go with the Fiend Pact. And obviously I'm searching for power out of necessity and to save others. Now, this other entity doesn't care what I use it for, and but what does he want? He's getting something out of it. So, wants of the broker are entertainment. And so let's say he can only watch by those he makes a pact with. And this is how he's going to give me more power, and the reason why he will, so that I can further just basically I'm like a superhero show to them at this point. And that's what this allows for. It gives things that my character will do. So maybe I do a lot more finesse, a lot more quick draw. So a lot more Wild West acting, in a sense, to maintain the power. Now there's other things that that could do stuff like this, and especially with this character, the obvious, I sold my soul. And, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't choose this one per se, or you could also go down like the route that he just doesn't care and you just grabbed his power. That I wouldn't recommend this because it leaves you with a very distasteful character that doesn't have much to go on. Next we need to think of the all-important flaws, which is one of my favorites. They're going to help define this character, of how would make him more memorable. He's not going to be someone he's not going to be a Mary Sue. No one can be a Mary Sue. Everyone has a flaw. Even if someone doesn't have flaws, it's the fact that they're not flawed that is their flaw. They're too perfect, and everyone despises them for it. Now, it's a lot harder for a DM to roleplay that out, because it's a lot harder to pinpoint that kind of a weakness and actually force it out, which is why I often recommend people to write more enigmatic flaws. Like, for this character, I judge, maybe I'm a harsh judge on myself. I take blame for everything. So, like, let's say, for example, like, I come into a city where people are dead. All the people there are dead. I would blame myself for not being there and go on a tantrum. On a tantrum of frustration and anger, and I just start throwing things around, swearing, and just being pissed at the world, kind of thing. For me not even pissed at the world, pissed at myself for not being there, even though I couldn't have been, and there's no way I could have known. My character won't accept those facts. And that's why he took up the deal with the devil, because he couldn't accept the fact that he had no power over something. He wants to solve all the problems on his own, and this is his greatest downfall. That he can't understand a world without himself in it. I mean, he can't understand how others can screw up, or in a sense, how he can't be blamed, or he can't be responsible for bad things. And then we need, like, an ideal. For this character, an ideal is a bit more short-term. It's a bit more of a changing perspective, but to be more precise with what this character might want is to do good. The people of this world matter. And this is like the whole I'll help anyone kind of thing. So, like, let's say a beggar comes to him. He might not give them gold, but he'll give them an opportunity for it, kind of thing. He might teach them, if he was wiser. You might just give something to them sometimes, but the idea is that your character has a ideal that they uphold. So, like, a paladin will uphold justice to its firmest degree. Like, I shall not let a man be falsely accused of a crime be imprisoned and stuff like that. Follow the law, like culture, stuff like that. That's what an ideal is. It's what binds your character. If there was a rally, he would join this kind of rally, or at least silently support it. And we have a bond. What binds your character to this world? Who are the people or things that keep you in this world. For some it's money, for some it's power, but for most it's a family member, a dear friend. For this character specifically, it will be his family. Nothing is more important than the blood he shares. And this will lead to a fleshed out character. And then you need to just start, and you need to write a background. Things that like he might hold on to that make him more fleshed out. So let's say he was a cook. Alright? He was a cook for his family, he always provided, and he was loved by the town. Great cook of a small town, loved for his brews. And let's say and then we need to like start thinking like, was it a family thing? And for this character, I'll make it a family thing. And like he would have taught his kids, and he was taught by his father, kind of thing. And that helps flesh them out, and I start naming characters like Juliana or something. I don't know. Sarah. I'm gonna go with Sarah because I can spell that off the top of my head. Sarah, his wife. Jimmy, his child. And that will help, that gives him, those will help him, those will give names and stuff. But now, since they're all kidnapped, let's give him like, he was, after the raid, let's say he made some friends. Like, he was in a camp where there was a general, and he helped that general out of like Little Rock when chaos was brewing. That took his child and wife, and so he now knows Ray, Ray, the officer of the Blue Guard, as a sort of person he has contact with, someone he can call upon, someone that makes that'll make his character feel more enticed with the game, more alive. And this is more so what I wanted to get with. I don't want to go into like the stats and stuff unless this is what you guys may want from me. So I'm going to start ending the video here. And if you all would wish to see more, and if comment down below on what you might want to see in the future. And if you need any help with something, I'll try to get into your comments if possible. I hope to see you guys soon. Sign off.